Welcome in, race fans. Here, Sunday night racing under the lights here from the Southern National Motorsports Park. Here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, we are proud to bring you the drivers here from the Tri-State Super.
Seeing some 2 and possibly even 3 wide action, but most likely it's going to be painting that white line around the speedway. That seems to be the fastest way around the Southern National Motorsports Park.
Take a look at the top of our timing and scoring. You'll be able to find your favorite driver here in this qualifying session. And as we do take to the qualifying session here tonight, you got to remember a couple features here. The top 20 will lock in from your fast times. We will then invert the top 20. We will actually invert only the top 11 of those drivers. So 11th place tonight here will go start on the pole. 10th will be the outside of the front row, and so on. But then we will also go to the last chance qualifier here tonight, where we will advance 2 drivers out of the last chance qualifier. But first, we got to get through this qualifying session here tonight, and we will take a look then to see who our GC Racing a hard chart, or sorry, actually it's our Race 1 Fast Time Award is here tonight before we get into the race for our GC Racing Hard Charger. That's going to be another one to be interesting to look at, because that should start us here tonight with, it looks like, 22 cars, as long as there's no provisional used at the end of qualifying and at the end of the last chance qualifier. So strong cars battling not for very many positions, but this track, the more cars you put on it, Al, it's going to be a traffic jam out there already.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see. Right now, it looks like they're going to be sending about 10 cars on the trailer early, so not the way that some of these drivers are going to want to start their season, but as we all know, that's partially part of racing. And well, Roger, right now qualifying underway, and Jeff Town is showing the way up on the front of this one, the driver out of Otsego, in that car number 222. The Force Engineering GT Products entry. So right now, the cars wrapping up qualifying. They're going to have a drivers meeting here very shortly as Steve Mastro just goes to number 7th on the board in car number 54. So almost everybody put in a time or getting a time. 28 cars have registered a time out of the 30 who have registered to race here for the Nunya Super Series here by the Tri-State Super Series.
While these gentlemen are in our qualifying session, we do have to give a big shout out to Mark Welsh, who's out there. He is registered as a racer out there tonight, race fans, but you will not see the driver of the 61 out there on the speedway. Al, he's got a very important job here tonight. He is playing race control. He is the race director. He's wearing multiple hats here for the season opener, so our hats are off to Mark. We know he's got a very hard task tonight at hand to keep all these drivers lined up and are ready to rock and roll here tonight. Make sure nobody steps out of line. So that's a hat that's better worn for him, not for myself, even though I could definitely use a hat.
Well, yeah, especially, would you put some extra armor all on that thing tonight?
Well, it's turtle wax, Al, but who's really looking and trying to figure out what I'm putting on top of the old chrome dome here? Talking about chrome, we talked about how small the track is. Might be a one-lane groove track. You know, a lot of these guys just got done watching the NASCAR race at the Martinsville Speedway, and a lot of these guys actually have been tuning in down there at the Nashville Fairgrounds, the big event that's happening down there. Some of these guys actually hurrying back to get here tonight to race virtually on the iRacing.com platform, which is pretty big. But two small short tracks that these guys have been paying attention to all weekend before strapping into their sim rigs. Do you think the old chrome horn will be used often?
I think maybe towards the later. I think at the beginning of these races, definitely going to see the chrome horn in the last chance qualifier. Only 2 positions going to be advancing from that 20-lap last chance showdown or last chance qualifier, as you will. Only 2 positions available. So you're going to have to get up on the wheel, and not to only mention that, there is no caution laps counting here tonight, Roger. So that's going to take and be a big play. But there is a time limit on that LCQ.
Yeah, that's something that you got to keep an eye on. You know, we do enter this as a brand new season here for the Tri-State Super Series, and we got to welcome everybody that's tuning in, whether it's via the FacebookLive.com platform or over on our YouTube. We appreciate each and every one of you tuning in here tonight to watch some of the best short track racing drivers on the iRacing platform, and well, they are some of the best racing drivers out of the Midwest also. Some of them out of Michigan, Indiana, a couple of them, a couple North Carolina boys, but a lot of drivers racing over there at the Kalamazoo Speedway. And Kalamazoo did partner up with these guys last season to bring you some of the racing action on iRacing.com. So these drivers, if you're watching from the Midwest, we welcome you. If you're watching from down south in North Carolina, or if you're just a Turn 3 racing regular, we got to thank you also. But take a look at a couple of our all-time winners here in this series here. You know, you look at the names, Al, you got Ron Hart, he's a past champion. You also got to think of Colin Allman, Ricky LeDuc, Brandon Wilkinson, and of course Matt Eddy, but the all-time win leader here, Jason Hughes. You know, all last season, we saw Hughes run towards the front. Didn't matter what kind of machine we strapped into on race night. He wound up towards the front.
And Hughes comes in as our defending champion, and not a very good qualifying effort by that driver. He sits 21st overall, but 9 wins on the season. Going to have to come from the LCQ here tonight. Not sure if he's got a past champions provisional, but to be on that list of all-time series wins, he has a 3-win cushion over the second winningest driver, the Sean Grace, who has 6. So a lot of these drivers wanting to get their name onto that list, and we'll find out who will do that here in about 2.5 minutes left here in our qualifying session presented by Race 1, who the Fast Time Award looks like it's going to go to the 222 of Jeff Town.
Yeah, you know, you talked about Sean Grace, though. Well, you got to think about him. He's the 2020 Angola Speedway track champion. That ranks him right up there along the names of like Matt Eddy. So, I mean, those are not names to really bat an eyelash at. So we will see how he will perform here tonight. As we tick on closer to getting ready to go racing here tonight at the Southern National Motorsports Park, race fan, we are going to step away for just a brief moment here behind the microphones, and we will be back after the national anthem.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rackets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Welcome back here, race fans, to the Southern National Motorsports Park. Qualifying is officially in the books, and we have the Fast Time Award here tonight presented by Race 1. We have caught up with the driver of the number 222 of Jeff Town. Jeff, a very quick hot rod here in our qualifying session. You will now start 11th, unfortunately, though, in the main event tonight.
Yes, sir. The inversion, 11th. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah, you had a quick car here in practice, a quick car in qualifying. How do you think the main event here tonight will go?
Well, we've been running some practice races for the last couple weeks, and they've been really, really good, actually. I think average maybe 3 cautions in a whole 100-lap race. So I'm hoping that keeps the same. We can have some good racing here tonight.
Well, as I see the crew wrenching on the car over there, Jeff Town, tonight is your Fast Time presented here tonight by Race 1. Jeff, though, via the invert L, he will have to start in the 11th spot.
Yeah, fast car and the invert not to his liking, but he'll start on the inside line as our LCQ is starting to grid up here on the front stretch. Looks like we're going to have 8 drivers strong vying for 2 positions.
And this is how they will line up here for your last chance qualifier tonight. Starting on the front row out of Indiana, driving the number 32, having the most all-time wins in the Super Series program, it is going to be the 32 of Jason Hughes. Starting outside of him, driving the 129 machine, it is going to be John Dorenbros. Behind them, driving the 84, the wily veteran here, the 84 of Bubba Brooks. Starting in the 4th position, driving the 01, it will be Jeff Roethlisberger. Behind him, a man who has not been short of finding victory lane in the 2020 season in the real-world side of things, the number 29 of Austin Maynard. Starting in the 6th position tonight, driving the number 31, this is going to be Chris Fleming. Starting 7th on the grid here tonight, driving the number 14 of Zach Ford. Behind them, it'll be the 22, and he'll be the last one to take to the grid here tonight. I believe that will be the 22 of Mike Moser. That is your 8-car field here for the last chance qualifier to get into the first race of the season for the Nunya Performance 100.
At 20 laps here, separating 2 drivers from making it into the big dance, Roger. The nerves are up. You got to have a good start to the season. No one wants to end up on the trailer early, but unfortunately 6 drivers are most likely, or not most likely, are going to have that fate at the end of 20 laps here. This one, you better strap in and hook up the 5-point harness because the lights are out. We're going to go back to green flag racing for the first time in the 2020 Nunya Performance 100 LCQ here. 20 laps are 20 minutes.
As they get ready, as the iRacing pace car lights are off, that means next time by, we will go green flag racing. Race fans, we welcome you all here tonight to watch the Nunya Performance and Fabrication 100. It is the last chance qualifier.
Down to the turn number 1 to 129, going to get moved up the racetrack. That was Roethlisberger, I believe. Nope, excuse me, John Dornbos. He got moved from the outside line to that last place. He's got to make up some ground. Not the turn number 1 that he wanted, as Jason Hughes has jumped out to the early race lead. But Bubba Brooks now 1 spot out of the big dance. He's pressuring the 29 of Maynard.
That's right. Remember, it is only the top 2 drivers here that will move on. And it is right now Austin Maynard who does run into that final transfer position. Bubba Brooks, you see him right there running third. He is being pressured, though, by Jeff Roethlisberger. They need to catch up, though, to Austin Maynard. He has started to pull away in that number 29 here tonight. Will Austin Maynard out of Elkhart, Indiana, be able to hold on to the final transfer spot? He's trying to chase down Hughes, but it won't. Well, I shouldn't say won't. It might be contact, though, for third.
Brooks going to go around, and the yellow flag will come out for the first time in our LCQ contact between the 84 of Bubba Brooks and the 01 of John Dornbos. Contact down in turn number 1, and the 84 of Bubba Brooks going through the spin cycle here for the first time in our last chance qualifier. Ryder, that was well, we thought maybe we would see the chrome horn, and, well, maybe we did.
So we will take a look back here and see what happened to Bubba Brooks. We did just catch it right out of the corner of our eye. He is racing right here with that 01 of Roethlisberger. They were battling for the 3rd position. Both of them having to lock in right there, just that right front fender of that 01 to the left rear, sending the 84 of Bubba Brooks around. And that will now send Brooks to the back of the tail end of the field here, the driver out of Kalamazoo. He now has a long way to go to get himself back in. Let's take another look back out of here, watching the 84 of Brooks and the 01 of Roethlisberger. So just the slightest of contact out shows you how on rails these machines are here tonight and how hard it is to hang on to them.
Yeah, and the tire's not quite up to temperature quite yet for them, as they have only got 4 laps completed into the books. And these tires, the new Hoosier Racing compound on the super late models, they definitely take some heat before they start getting that stickiness, I will say, where they really grip the racetrack. Unfortunate break, but that's 3 fast guys going to the back of the pack there. Is it was Roethlisberger and Dornbos making contact, so they'll have to start deep in this one. Jason Hughes had jumped out to a quite sizable lead. That's gone away now. He'll start on the inside of row number 1. Outside of him will be the 29 of Austin Maynard, a new dancing partner. He's up 3 spots from the 5th position, so he's right now the car in the bubble. He'll have to take and try to hold off all advances of the competitors behind him.
We'll see here as the iRacing pace car will dive in. And it will be Hughes back to the loud pedal to the outside with just 15 laps to go. And I believe a little contact there. Brooks actually made it down to the bottom around Ford. And that will now put Brooks. Now he's going to go right to the bottom of the 31. Chris Fleming going to go up the track. And Brooks going to get underneath him. That'll move him into the 4th spot. And he is hot and heavy on the accelerator here. He is trying to work his way back through the field.
Yeah, Brooks battling for the 4th position. He's got the 31 of Chris Fleming to his outside as 2 groups are racing around the Southern National Motorsports Park. Starting to develop here is Brooks now right on the bottom. Is that number 84? He'll work down the back stretch, and the 31 trying to slam the door shut on Roethlisberger up the racetrack.
Up the track. Something happened there to Brooks, and the caution flag will come out. I believe something broke on the right front of his machine. The car went straight down there in 3 and forward, hard into the outside wall there for Bubba Brooks. That's going to be a night ender, I believe, for the driver of the 84.
Yeah, tough break for the 84 of Bubba Brooks. Possibly a right front tire going down after slight contact with himself and the 31. Might have cut down that right front, and he hit that wall a hard amount down in turns 3 and 4. Hopefully Bubba Brooks will be all right as the safety crew worked attending to him down on pit road.
Yeah, he had to take the tow very quick back to pit road, so Blueberry's machine making very hard contact. He will be out of the event, but this is the incident here. Watching this 84 for Bubba Brooks back here as he was working hard to come back through. Oh, there was a little contact, and then all of a sudden, the car in the center of the corner, like something broke in the right front, and it just went straight backwards, or straight upwards towards the corner, and making the contact, putting him out of this race.
Yeah, tough way to start the season, but he'll be a tough competitor throughout the rest of the season. Mark my words on that one. But a tough break for the driver of the 84, the Leduc Blueberries Race Engineering number 84 of Bubba Brooks. So, well, it's going to be a long ride home back to Kalamazoo, Michigan for that driver, Roger.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not the way Bubba wanted to start the season on the trailer early on. But Jason Hughes right now is our front driver. So it looks like it'll be 11 laps to go here in the last chance qualifier when we do get back going racing. To answer some of the questions out there in chat, yes, this is the iRacing.com platform for a lot of the drivers. You may know the drivers racing over there at the Kalamazoo Speedway and all throughout the northern Midwest. But tonight, they are racing via the iRacing.com platform. It is a simulated platform that each one of these drivers do have. They are sitting in their comfort, whether it's their garage, their man shed, or in their homes, comfortably warmed up behind a PC with a custom rig steering wheel and a couple monitors, some of them driving virtual reality headsets here. And now this is about as close as some of the drivers like you and I would ever get to the racing, or having a car out on track as we go back green flag racing, as Hughes shows you why he has already dominated, as he has now pulled out to about a 1.5 car length lead over Austin Maynard.
Yeah, the battle for the transfer spot starting to heat up, though, as Maynard has it. Mosier was all over the back bumper of that number 29. He'll hold on to third, and here comes the 129er outside pole sitter for the last chance qualifier. That is John Dornbos. He's all the way back up to the fourth spot after getting sent to the rear after some contact on the opening lap. He's all the way back to fourth. They're all chasing the 32 of Jason Hughes, who enjoys about a half-second lead over Austin Maynard. Maynard's going to start feeling the pressure, though, from that number 22. The Pet Tails Rescue, number 22 of Mike Mosier. He holds on to your third spot. That is not going to be good enough to make it into the night's main event.
Yeah, it's just going to be 7 laps to go this time by here tonight at the Southern National Motorsports Park. And which drivers will find themselves looking out? We are 7 laps, about 3.5 miles of just short sprint racing left here in the last chance qualifier tonight to see who will get into the Nunya Performance 100. Next time by will be just 5 laps to go. It is Hughes setting the dominant pace right now. He is the quickest car on the track. Last time by, he was still a 14.3 second lap. It was a 14.3. It was 14.35 for Austin Maynard and 14.4 last time by for Moser, as high five from the flagman this time.
Yeah, 5 laps to go. They work down the back stretch, and it is Jason Hughes showing the way, trying to make it into the feature number 1, the defending champion. Find himself in some, not familiar territory for that driver of the 32, but that 29 is coming down to a half second. It was up to 6, but those two drivers have a good gap. They can kind of cruise control their way into the last chance qualifier, advancing with just 3 laps to go. Next time by, the popsicle sticks will be up and the popsicle is melting.
That's right. It'll be just 2 more laps around this time for Jason Hughes as he will come out of turn number 4. He will try to bring this machine back just 2 more times around the speedway, but Maynard is coming. He is just about there. I'm not quite sure if he's going to have enough time with just 2 laps to go, because this time out of turn number 4, it'll be just 1 lap to go here in the last chance qualifier.
And a final trip around the Southern National Motorsports Park. Jason Hughes showing the advantage, kind of a half a second advantage over the 29 of Austin Maynard. Those will be your 2 drivers. They come off turn number 4. The checkered flag is waving. Hughes will pick up the last chance qualifier. Maynard will finish second in your final transfer position. Mike Mosier will round out your top 3 with Jeff Rothsberg and Chris Fleming, your top 5. So that'll be that. As now, as we get ready to go with our main event here, the Nunya Performance 100.
Yeah, as you do see the fireworks going off and the flash bulbs virtually going off here tonight, because our field is officially set here to go racing for the first race of the season for the Nunya Performance and Fabrication 100 from the Southern National Motorsports Park. As you do see, Jason Hughes has taken his virtual number 32 and tagged it to the back of the field. Austin Maynard will also join him. But there you see the 22 of Jeff Town. Does look like he was the fast time, I believe it was there, Al, but I believe iRacing will have him go ahead and start on the front row. But let's walk you through your starting lineup here tonight. This is how they will line up for the main event here tonight for the Nunya Performance 100. Starting front row, hailing out of Michigan, driving the number 8, this is Gary Cornenwet. Starting to his outside, driving the 222 with quick time here tonight, or at least quick time that we saw, it is going to be Jeff Town. Starting behind them, the wily veteran, the Ryder Oil number 96 of Ricky LeDuc. Behind him, driving the number 35 of Andy Rutherford. Behind him, it's going to be Chris Shannon driving the 132, starting in 5th. Starting 6th here tonight, driving the number 72, it is going to be Kyle Moonen. Starting 7th, it's going to be Copper Pete. That's right, Pete Dillon in the 82 will start 7th. Starting in the 8th position, hailing out of New York, driving the 54, it'll be Steve Mastro. 9th tonight, it'll be Tanner Tellerico in the 42, and rounding out the top 10, it'll be Gage Harris.
Starting on the inside of row number 6 will be the number 25, the RHU Racing entry. That's Nick Fleury to his outside, the 71 of Brett Hahn. Logan Maynard and Ron Hart will make up row number 7. Row number 8 will go to the number 1 of Ryan Castle. Chuck Darling will start 16th in car number 17. Sean Gage, Brandon Hanna, Matt Eddy, Chris Helfrich, Jason Hughes, and Austin Maynard, your LCQ cars. We are getting ready to go green flag racing, this time off turn number 4.
iRacing pace car will make the left-hand turn, and we will officially start here 100 laps for the Nunya Performance 100, and it will be the driver of the number 8 out in front, out of turn number 2. He will lead him down the back straightaway, and it looks like 3 and 4 are going to be good for him also. Gary Cornwet will be the first driver to log a lap here as the leader this season. 1 lap just like that in the book, and your top 5, top 6 have already single filed out. You got to go back here to running about the 8th and 7th, 8th position. Contact from the 42 to the back of the 82. A couple of them going around in turn 4.
Couple going around in turn number 4. Green flag will stay out. It looks like the number 42, Tellerico, going to get the short end of that stick. Is now the yellow flag will fly. That all started, Roger, up off of turn number 2. Cronenworth got a little bit out of shape off turn number 2. Everybody checked up, give him some space. That caused a big traffic jam, and well, around went car number 42 as he will get back into his position, but I believe he might be sent down here. But a tough break for the driver of that number 42 of Tanner Tellerico.
Yeah, let's take a look back here on the turn 3 racing replay here and see if we can find out what exactly happened. Watching the number 42 down there, you see him get down to the bottom, just right into the back of the 82, and just that big log jam down on the bottom, and everybody getting tangled up here tonight early on in this one. And I don't believe that's going to end anybody's night, Al, but a lot of cars will have damage here. It's short track racing. The fenders were not going to look beautiful by the end of this one. We knew that.
No, and to be honest, that contact was a little bit on the lighter side as we watch it once again here. He just got into the corner and just kind of a checkup reaction, and looks like LeDuc involved with car number 96 as well. So we'll see where timing and scoring gets everybody straight out. But Tellerico, well, got the short end of that one and went around, but definitely some right front damage on a few of those drivers, trying to make them out as well as we go on board with Tanner Tellerico.
Yeah, the ARCA driver out of the Midwest there, Tanner Tellerico, being involved in that one here, and it's unfortunate for him. He will tag the rear of the field. It looks like right now just one driver was down on pit road, I believe it was, we're being told, and I believe it was Pete Dillon, but it does look like Pete has rejoined the racing surface, so we will go back racing here as the iRacing pace car does duck in. It'll be 3 laps in the book and a brand new restart at the front here with Jeff Town and Gary Cornwet to the inside here, and they will battle down the back straightaway. A better start there by the 222 of Jeff Town.
Yeah, Town working really the outside, trying to pinch Cronenwet down to the inside. Ricky LeDuc back there in your 3rd spot in car number 96. He's trying to find out which lane is going to go early on, as now Cronenwet half car advantage into turn number 3. Town drives it in deep off of turn number 4. It'll be Cronenwet on lap number 5.
So 5 laps in the books there, and it is all Gary Cronenwet. He has led every lap. Look at Ricky LeDuc, though. He is trying to get right onto the back bumper there of Gary as they work down into turns number 3 and 4. Right now, Jeff Town is stuck to the outside, and everybody is going to town on him on the bottom groove here. It's a Sunday night shootout here tonight for the Nunya Performance 100, and this is good, hard, no short track racing action here for these drivers. They have brought their big boy shoes on tonight.
Yeah, Town's really working the outside of the speedway, has not given up. He's got a little bit of a hole right there. He'll take and slam the door shut on LeDuc for your number 2 spot. So Town able to hold off on the outside. Very impressed with that early on in this race. Alert in lap number 9. 8 already in the books as LeDuc runs there in your third spot. As we look back here a little bit deeper, Gage Harris in car number 10. He's battling with the number 132 of Chris Shannon. This is the battle for the 8th position.
Yeah, no, into the outside wall goes the 10 of Harris. He kind of tried to slide up in front there, and he got a little bit of a bumper. He goes into the outside wall. He keeps on ticking. Now to the inside, here comes the 25. That is Nick Fleury. He will work the bottom of the racetrack, and look how close Harris comes down there, almost handing him a little bit of a, we're calling it the adult beverage, and right behind them, the 71 of Hahn. He is sideways in that quick time 71 machine. He is letting it eat here. These drivers are not holding. Oh, contact. The 10 going to go around.
And the 10 of Gage Harris going to go around and into the tire barriers off of turn number 2. Yellow flag is out for the second time here tonight in the Nunya Performance 100. Tough break for the driver of the number 10, Gage Harris. We saw that with a contact with the number 20 or 28. I believe it was Roger. It's hard to tell from my vantage point here in the booth as we are socially distanced.
Yeah, socially distanced. Al up there in the upstate New York area, myself down here in the northeast of Pennsylvania. Socially distanced, that is for sure here. Let's take a look back here on our Turn 3 racing replay, though, at Gage Harris and see what happened. We were watching them. There you see the 71 get on by of Hahn. Let's see where the contact does come here. Is it right from the 28? Yeah, just a little swipe of that front bumper out, and it sends Harris down into the water barrier there protecting pit road. He backed it up, and he's going to keep on going. But now, Al, that is a direct blow to the front nose of this super late model. How much damage would that put onto this machine?
It really depends on how hard he hit. Roger is, but it could definitely knock some of the horsepower down. These cars idle around 1,800 RPM, so if it has any damage, all he has to do is really push in the clutch, kind of see what the sim is telling him, what the motor is showing under. But didn't really hit it that hard. It's got some left front damage there, but he really just trying to slam the door shut, get in there as he was hung up on the outside with his number 10 automobile. But tough break for Harris as now he will have to, as we are back green flag racing.
Yeah, green flag does come back in the air after our second caution flag of the evening. Now here comes Ricky LeDuc. Can he bring the 96 down to the inside? And he will not, so they will go single file for the first 4 spots. Couple of them going around hard. The 29 of Austin Maynard. Matt Eddy involved also. Pete Dillon. Handful of drivers back here involved in this crash. It looks like Chris Helfrich also involved in this machine or this mayhem, so that'll bring out the third caution flag of the night. Al, we were noticing before that last caution flag, though, that these cars were starting to become a handful for these drivers. A lot of them pushing early here on the 100-lap feature for the Nunya Performance 100, and it may have just bit a couple of these guys.
Definitely could have Matt Eddy with the Joe's Transportation number 88, the transport entree. He's involved in this one as well, as we see it here on our Nunya Performance replay.
Oh, that started with the 32, I believe, of Hughes jetting down to the inside on somebody. He was just out of the camera angle. There you see Hughes. He's out there looking pretty solid, but a couple guys left back there. Let's take a look here. Follow the 32. Who is that to the outside? That's the 1 of Castle. And oh, it even starts maybe a little bit of a bobble in front, and then the 29 goes around into the 88, the 74. Helfrich involved, and the 82 of Dillon. He just Pete Dillon's night, just wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, the good news for that team down there is he can spend this whole caution under yellow flag down on pit road fixing the damage on that automobile as they pace around here. His yellow flag laps are not counting, so they're not going to lose any laps to the leader. So they can pound out those dents, get it kind of fixed up here, and see if they can get back into this race. So the yellow lights are out around the speedway. We're going to go back green flag racing. But it looks like it has happened between the 51 and the 132. I believe that was Chris Shannon and Ron Hart making some contact as the field is doubled backed up. We're ready to go back green flag racing.
So now this restart here, it's still going to be E-Town and Gordon Wett to the front row here. LeDuc and Rutherford back there. iRacing pace car down and away, and let's go back racing. 15, working lap number 15 here tonight. Somebody didn't get a great start to the outside. That was the 54 of Mastro. He lost a couple spots there from the drop. As you see, Moonen, he was able to get by in the number 72. Now here comes Fleury in his 25. He'll pick the bottom way around. Chuck Darling would be the next car. There is a little bit of a gap there between Mastro and Darling, and there Mastro, he does recognize that gap, and he gets down to that bottom groove. That will leave now the 28 of Logan Maynard to the outside, and that unsponsored white number 28.
Yeah, he's got the number 1 of Ryman Castle to the inside. Castle pulls along even up off turn number 2. He'll drag race down the backstretch. Castle with that advantage, and he's got the LCQ winner bearing down on them, the 32. Up 10 spots at the start of this one. Jason Hughes runs in the 11th spot, trying to crack the top 10 for the first time here tonight. That is a great battle here for your 10th position, the 28 of Maynard. Getting stuck on the outside, give it to Hughes at the line.
Yeah, everybody else in front of these drivers have single filed out. Now it'll be Hughes getting that 10th position. He will have to run down, though, the number 1 of Castle, the Rocket Fabrication and Suspension Machine. That car is working pretty good for himself. Also, he has moved up 6 spots here tonight, and we're just going to be 20% into this race just next time by. Cornwall has led everything since the drop of the green flag, but Town is right there beating down on the back bumper of that super late model. He is not going to let him run away and hide. Everybody else, though, stacked up a little bit farther back into the field. There you see, I believe that is that's the 11, actually. Hanna to the outside. He is just stuck there as that 52 of Grayson. His Pontiac has been able to work the bottom. You don't see too many Pontiacs left out there on the speedways these days, but the 52 of Grace is making that Pontiac work.
How about a nice rebound for the driver that just got underneath Hanna? That is the number 42 of Tallarico. He's climbing his way back after being in the spin cycle a couple times early on in this one, making his way back up through the field. He's all the way into the 15th spot. I have a feeling that we have not seen the end of the night for Tanner Tallarico as he works through turns 3 and 4. Up front of this still Cronenwet, but he's got the 222. As this time by, it'll be 25 laps in, 75 to go.
Well, I'm glad you could do the math real quick for us, Al, on that one, because I would have been absolutely confused without the pen and paper that I just lost because of how amazing the racing is here tonight. 25 laps will be officially in the books, and it's Hughes still trying to work his way from the back of the field. Now here comes Tallarico. He'll look to the inside of Grace, and they will almost bang doors down in 3, but Sean will allow Tallarico to get down to the bottom, and they will go back single file real quick. That pass, he didn't waste any time. Tallarico on the charge.
Yeah, Tallarico really having a good forward drive up off the corner. You see he makes a lot of ground up off the corner. Now he'll set sights on the number 51 of Ron Hart as they work through turns 1 and 2 and down the backstretch. Tallarico, one of the fastest drivers on the speedway, faster than our race leaders at the current moment as they work around the Southern National Motorsports Park. He has got to the back bumper of the 51 of Hart. When will he make his move? You see Hart's car stepping out just a little bit on corner exit. We'll see Tallarico takes a bit to the inside. He's going for the 14th position.
As he goes for the 14th position, Cornwall got a little loose last time down here in 3. Slid up the track. Jeff Town led last lap. He'll lead this lap. New leader here on lap 29. It is Jeff Town. He has taken the triple twos to the front of the board, and he has officially set sail on Gary Cornwall. Maybe Gary using up the tires too early here on his Chevrolet. He has now fallen back to second, but don't worry, the driver out of Taylor, Michigan, still is up here running P number 2.
Yeah, he's running P number 2, the 35 of Andy Rutherford. He's trying to close in on that to get into your runner-up position. Is racing all around the speedway. Hughes Jason Hughes up 10, 11 spots. He's in your 10th position right now as he works underneath the number 1.
Crash
Ryan
on the
Castle.
speedway. It looks like Gage Harris in the number 10 has gone around. The Rocket Fabrication A&A Tree Service entry tonight has brought out the caution flag here on lap number 32. It is our 4th caution flag of the evening. I believe the 2nd caution flag here for Harris that he has been involved in, and we will take a look back here. 32 laps officially completed, and this is what happened. There you see Pete Dillon, maybe a little bit of a bump and run. Oh, Pete down to the inside. He was well out of shape, and they just came together. Not a very good entry for Pete Dillon down into the corner, and unfortunately Harris was there.
Yeah, the tough entry point for the 82 of Dillon and his force engineering. Maybe would you say forcing the entry in turn number 1, slid up the racetrack and got into the number 10 of Harris. So gets it pointed back in the right direction. Harris not having a very good start of this one here as we are working lap number 31 as they work around the speedway, but a tough break for Harris, and car number 10, the driver out of Buchanan, Michigan, is going to find himself relegated to the back of this one as we are under caution for the 4th time, Roger. I needed a break. I don't know about you. I needed to take a pause. Maybe the drivers hit reset mode right now and to get everything settled back down as the racing's been hot and heavy since the green flag has dropped.
Well, that is what we absolutely love here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, and we got to thank everybody that is tuning in from all over the world, whether it's on our Facebook Live feed here tonight or over on YouTube. We do appreciate each and every one of you tuning in here tonight to watch the drivers tonight racing for the Nunya Performance and Fabrication 100 here in the season opener from the Southern National Motorsports Park. That's right, race fans. You've watched them all summer long during the pandemic race at the Kalamazoo Speedway and all throughout the Midwest. I keep saying Kalamazoo out because it's the one that sticks out in my mind the most, and I don't know. It's just Berlin Speedway's out there also. A couple of these guys have raced over at Berlin. But the racing tonight transfers onto the iRacing platform for the Winter Series. You will be able to catch a lot of these drivers racing weekly here on Sunday night, just not here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Some of the programs brought to you this season will be over on the DJ Driving Network. DJ Whitmire will be taking the reins here in a couple of weeks and taking you majority to the finish of the season. So if you know the Whitmire name, that's right, he is a Midwest boy that does run late models out there. And, well, we'll see if he can bring you the action for these Midwest boys as the iRacing pace car goes in. And a huge slide up the speedway for the 222 of Jeff Town there on that restart.
Yeah, Town looked like he spun the tires, and that's going to really hurt the advancements of the number 8 of Cronenwet, as now he's got Rutherford taking a peek to the inside on that inside line off turn number 4. As we get one lap into the books after that race start, number 4 is Rutherford and Cronenwet side by side off turn number 2.
As they go side by side for that position back there, that's P number 2 that they are looking for. We'll keep an eye on them and see who can get it. It looks like it will be Andy in that number 35 machine. He will make the transition into second. That's going to put Cornenwet back to third. And Al, we talked about it. Did Cornenwet use up the tires in the early stages of this one? He is now fallen back to third. Or was that all kind of from that restart, putting Cornenwet to the outside, Rutherford having the inside advantage?
It could be a possibility of both. Now the tires have had a couple of heat cycles in them. In my experience, the tires seem to get a little bit hard, and if you don't clean them off very good underneath these yellow flags, you'll get a little bit loose on the restart. So I believe you see Cronenworth really putting the pressure back to Rutherford that time off turn number 4. Maybe just had a little bit of dirtiness on those Hoosier Racing tires, as he seems to be keeping up pace now as he's holding off the advancements of Leduc and Moonen that round out your top 5 as he tries to get back around Rutherford for your number 3 position.
Yeah, it's not going to work as they dive down into turn number 1. The Limelight machine running in that 3rd position. Castle right now is running 10th. He is holding on to that 10th position because right behind him is the house car, the number 51. That is Ron Hart here tonight.
Hart runs there in the 11th spot behind Castle, and right behind them, the 52 is Sean Gates. Tallarico still trying to put the pressure around Austin Maynard. Maynard, coming from the last chance qualifier, was the last car to advance into tonight's main event which is the Nunya Performance 100. And Tallarico trying to find a way around at number 29.
Not going to happen yet here with closing in on the halfway marker home here in race number 1. We apologize for the timing and scoring glitch there that we just had, but it looks like that has all cleared up. As you see, Maynard still holding off Tanner Tallarico back here. 13th and 14th position. Tallarico tries a little bit of a wider entry, trying to arc it into the corner to get the speed down the back straightaway, but it looks like he actually slid the tires just a little bit. He has lost a little ground now to Maynard. Just behind them, it's Brennan, and look at Gage Harris. He's still out here. Matt Eddy there running 16th and 17th. Both drivers having a little damage on their machines. Then it's Pete Dillon back here. He is 18th. Logan Maynard is running 19th out onto the speedway. Shannon is running 20th. Helfrich is 21st, and Han is actually running in the 22nd position. So all 22 drivers are still out there, and they are chasing the 222 of Jeff Town. He is checked out here.
Yeah, Town up to a 1.4 second lead over Andy Rutherford. Rutherford runs there in your number 2 position. He's starting to gap the number 8 of Cronenworth. He's a little sideways up the racetrack. He goes. Here comes Ricky Leduc. Leduc working to the inside. This time off turn number 4. Working lap 47. I believe Cronenworth has worked the goodness out of those Hoosier Racing tires. He is on the slide backwards as he's hung on the outside. Here comes the 72 of Moonen. Moonen going to try to fill that hole as now Leduc works underneath the 8 of Cronenworth.
So that'll put Gary to the outside, and now that would officially put Ricky Leduc running P number 3. For all you Ricky Leduc fans, he is coming through. Oh, big stack up there on the bottom. Everybody, Fleury into the back of Mooning, Darling into the back of Fury, and they keep it straight. Good driving there by all those drivers. They all made contact nose to tail, but they kept all their super late models right now pointed in the right direction. But Al, next time by for Jeff Town, into the halfway flags. The cross flags will be shown here tonight for the Nunya Performance 100.
And he's got about 3/4 of a straightaway lead over second place. Andy Rutherford is the half flag. So we are halfway into this 100 lap main event. It has been slowed for 4 times, but it is Jeff Town showing away now about a straightaway advantage over Andy Rutherford, who runs second. Third spot is the 96 of Ricky Leduc. Is now 1 car up the racetrack. That is the number 1 of Castle. Castle up the racetrack and losing spots as he's fallen back to the 15th spot as Matt Eddy now works underneath him. That is the race 1 entry number 1 of Ryan Castle, out of shape and falling back to the 16th position here in this one just past the halfway point.
Yeah, Ryman had that Rocket Fabrication suspension car dialed in, and I don't know if he just overstepped one time, and that's all it took to put that Ford up into the marbles, and he went just straight backwards, running inside the top 10 all the way back now to running 16th here. But boy, what a run it has been here. This is the longest run of the evening for these drivers, and now Castle is going to have a long way to go because he's got Matt Eddy out in front of him. Logan Maynard looks like he just picked up a position as he got around the outside there of Gage Harris. So that'll put Maynard, that's Logan Maynard, into P number 18 right now, with Jeff Town still checked out. Closest battle on the raceway is right here with Chuck Darling, being chased down by Steven Mastro. Out in front of him, that's Nick Fleury. So these drivers right now just running nose to tail just over the halfway point home.
And our hard charger closing in on the back of that battle, the 32, the winner of the LCQ. Jason Hughes, the defending champion, is quickly closing in as he's worked his way up to the 9th position. He closes it on the 54 of Mastro. Trying to find a way around him, is now a little bit deeper in the field here. Looks like it was the number 51 of Sean Grace. He got around to 52.
That's Hart in the
Maynard.
51, and Grace
Hart,
actually there
yeah.
in the 52. They did swap positions, and then Austin Maynard looked like he was going to bring that number 29 machine also down to the inside, and he just wasn't able to get it. He's got to defend, though, because he's got Tallarico still knocking on the back door of that number 29. The 42, remember, he was involved in the first caution flag of the evening, but since then, he has been marching his way back through the field. Now, though, as we're going to get 40 laps to go just next time by. I don't know if Tallarico or Maynard, probably two of the stronger competitors here tonight, are going to be able to find at the front of the field here. The hourglass is going to start to run dry, and these drivers are still running subpar 14 seconds, or 15 seconds actually, because last time by for your race leader of town was still the fastest machine out onto the speedway, was a 14.7 second to Ricky Leduc, who runs second with a 14.9. So just look at the speed differential there between Town and Leduc. Town is out for that Sunday morning cruise.
At Town working down in the turn number 3. He's got some lap traffic right there in front of him. The first one he'll see is the 74 of Chris Helfich. He'll be in your 21st position. He'll be the car next to go down a lap to our race leader as they battle in front of him. It looked like it was the number 132 of Shannon, but you got some Town. Doesn't really need to push it. He's got a 3.5 second lead over Ricky Leduc. He can just ride right there right now. No need to push it unless he wants to put some lap traffic between himself and the second place car of Ricky Leduc.
Yeah, but Al, you and I both know the more cars you can put a lap down here into the green flag conditions, if a late caution were to come out, that's less cars that you have to battle with at the end of this event. So now he will put the 74, Chris Helfrich, a lap down here. So that is two drivers that are at least one lap down. I believe the other one is the 71 of Brett, and he is multiple laps down, but he is out there still trying to turn some laps here tonight on the speedway. 66 laps will be complete this time by for Jeff Town. He has checked out to a 3.5 second lead over these two drivers that now come across the timing and scoring stripe, Ricky Leduc and Andy Rutherford. Remember, Leduc, Rutherford, and Town all last season, Al, they were throwing the haymakers. I remember back north Wilkesboro, it was just back and forth like a hot potato between the three.
Yeah, those guys definitely were throwing the haymakers left and right, and maybe an uppercut here once in a while. But it is Leduc that shows over Rutherford. I tell you, the battle back here for the 8th, 9th, and 10th position really starting to heat up as it was the 32 of Hughes working the outside of Mastro. Mastro's been able to work back around, but now they got the number 8 of Cronenworth, our early race leader. He runs 4th as he's got Moonen working to his outside inside now off turn number 4. His drivers are really battling it up as Moonen will move to the 4th spot. Cronenworth working the outside, and Roger, I don't know if you're seeing it like I am, but the marbles are starting to pick up on the outside of the speedway. So if you get pushed out of line, you're going to get up in those marbles. It's going to be like driving on ice.
Yeah, I think that's what just happened to one of these drivers back there. I believe that was either the 29 of Maynard or the 51 of Hart. One of those drivers were out of shape down the back straightaway last time, but they were able to gather it up. Back to the outside, though. Cronenwet will get forced up there. Fleury will actually get on by him. Now that would put Gary to the outside. Here comes Darling in the number 17. He's got some right front damage on that number 17 here for Darling, but Chuck is going to just hammer into it here tonight.
And Darling down the inside. He's got Steven Mastro trying to put the pressure to his back bumper. It is about an 8-10 car jam up here. It's like rush hour on Monday morning on your way to work. It'll be 17 of Darling. He'll get by Cronenworth. Cronenworth now has got the 54 of Mastro to his inside. He'll give up that position. So Cronenworth working backwards, not the way you want to be going, with just 26 laps to go. The pay window starting to get greased up here on night number 1 for the Nunya Performance 100.
Yeah, Cronenwet is just stuck to the outside. Contact with that 8 to the outside. Remember, he led the first 27 laps of this event here tonight before Jeff Town took over the race lead, and now he is just stuck to the outside. There is nothing that the driver of the number 8 can do right now. They are all just lined up to the inside, and the Taylor Michigan Limelight Motorsports GRC Racing entry tonight is now headed in the wrong direction on the wrong side of the halfway point. We are just closing it. It'll be 22 laps next time by, as now Cronenwet has dropped all the way from running inside the top 5, outside the top 10, as there goes Hannah to the inside. Brandon going to take the 11 to position number 12. Now Gary is able to find a home down in front of the 88 of Matt Eddy. Track champion of Matt Eddy right there, running back into the 14th position. He's been wrapped up into a couple crashes here in the early stages, and it looks like the 88 Joe's machine is looking pretty good, but just buried at this point.
Yeah, he's came down pit road under the yellow flags. They were able to do some nice work to that driver, the number 88, as your race leader works underneath the 28 of Maynard now. So Logan Maynard down 1 lap, leaving 17 cars on the lead lap. So Jeff Town on a torrid pace right now with 20 laps to go. 4.7 seconds ahead of second place runner Ricky Leduc, who is just battling with Andy Rutherford. Those two are still hooked together like Velcro. They work through turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, I wonder which one. I'll take your pick. Who's going to win the second position here tonight?
I'm partial to the number 96, but I don't know. Rutherford's looking pretty good to be able to keep that car down on that white line, painting it around the corner. So I think it's going to be whoever doesn't make a mistake in how they catch lap traffic, is because our Jeff Town is going through lap traffic. These two are going to have to get through it the same lap traffic as well. They see Rutherford a little bit loose on entry, so maybe, just maybe, a little bit more tire on that 96 than that 35.
Yeah, I should have thought before you even asked that question to you, Al, knowing that Ricky Leduc had the 96 on the side. That would have been like me asking you asking me if the driver of the 39 was going to win this race, right? I mean, sometimes we just don't think before we talk, but what I can tell you is it's going to be just 15 to go next time by for Jeff Town. There you see him. He will work upon the next lap down machine would be the 82 of Pete Dillon. Dillon is running into the 17th position, so right now I don't think Pete Dillon's going to hold up Jeff Town and his machine. 2 team cars there driving here tonight in race number 1 of the Nunya Performance. This is the Nunya Performance 100 here from the Southern National Motorsports Park. 14 laps to go, and it is now Rutherford actually getting around Leduc at the stripe, though. It is Andy Rutherford, but here comes Ricky Leduc back to the inside in 1.
Goes to the inside of the crossover, move up off of turn number 2. Now Rutherford going to take a peek to the inside. Can't do anything with it, but Leduc up the racetrack, so they'll swap lanes off turn number 4. Rutherford to the inside, Leduc to the outside. They'll check it up in the corner. Rutherford going to be able to hang Leduc up on the outside. He'll take over your second position.
Both drivers were sideways. That 96 sideways entering 3 this time. They'll come out of the corner, drag race to the start-finish line. Rutherford will have it with just 12 laps to go here. The Ford right now out-dueling the Chevrolet body. All the cubic inches, all the motors are the same here. The nice thing, though, on the iRacing.com platform, as always, all even around the country here when we attend super late model events, you can change we'll call it the bumpers. You can have your Chevrolet or your Ford or even your Pontiac, like I believe that was Sean Grace that has on his machine here tonight. So it's good right now, even though the Ford is out dueling that 96 Chevrolet, Al.
Well, I'm torn right now because you know how much I like the blue ovals here with just 10 laps to go. Make it 9 for Jeff Town as he's heavy in lap traffic. He's got the 71 of Hahn right in front of him. Ryman Castle in car number 1 in front of them. As Hahn will move up out of the racetrack. But these guys that are in front now, Castle and the 52 of Grace, they are battling for a position. They are battling back there for the 16th and 15th position. I don't think they're just going to lay over and let the race leader get on by.
Yeah, you know, short track racing, you know, we'll call it the unwritten rule. If you are the slower car, you go to the outside. But what happens when you're the slower car, but you're battling with another car and you're trying to stay on the lead lap? It looks like Grace will just go ahead to the outside now. He sees that the leader is literally on the back tail bar of that number 52. So he just goes to the outside. Now Castle will have to make the decision. Where does he go? Jeff Town does not have to push the envelope, but it looks like Raymond will work to the outside there, and he will now let your race leader of town just get on by him. So that will leave now 14 cars on the lead lap with just 5 laps to go. A high 5 from the flagmen to go. 5 laps of racing here.
Yeah, 5 more circuits around the speedway. Rutherford has really opened it up over Ricky Leduc. Running in 4th is Kyle Noonan. He's kind of closing in on that battle. And how about Nick Fleury? Kind of quiet. He runs in the 5th spot, but he's got a pack of hungry dogs right behind that number 25, the 17 of Darling. He's got the back trunk full of the 54 of Mastro. And don't look now, but here comes that Tanner Tallarico. He's starting in the 9th spot now. He's trying to find a way around Jason Hughes as they work there around the speedway. This is the battle for the 8th position. And how about the 29, Roger? Up in the side of the top 10 for the first time tonight.
Yeah, Maynard not going to go away without having a good finish here, but the popsicle sticks for Jeff Town goes in the air. Here it comes. It'll be just 2 more laps around the speedway. Next time by, the white flag will fly for the Force Engineering GT Products All-Star Lane Automotive number 20. Well, 222. Al, he gets the white flag. He's going to bring it home here tonight, I believe, unless somebody can magically jump 7 seconds.
Yeah, Town through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Checker flag will wave, and your Nunya Performance 100 winner will be the 222 of Jeff Town, the driver out of Otsego, Michigan. He'll pick up the win, finishing second. We'll go to Andy Rutherford and car number 35, Ricky Leduc, finishing third. Kyle Moonen and Nick Fleury rounding out your top 5 in what was in a very exciting 100 laps here at the Southern National Motorsports Park.
Yeah, you see Jeff Town, your winner here tonight. He will burn them down here early. He is just going to go to town and see if he can, now next week, park the Force back into victory lane. You see him down there. We will get a post-race interview with the driver of Jeff Town in just a couple of moments here tonight, Al. But these drivers put on one whale of a show, and that's exactly what we expected here for the Tri-State Super Series presented by Nunya Performance. Last year was a blast to call the races, and tonight it didn't even disappoint.
No, it picked up right where they left off, and what an exciting race. We hope you've enjoyed it here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Hope you stick around for the post-race show here for the Nunya Performance 100. But, man, Jeff Town, once taking that lead, he took the boys out behind the shed, and, well, he took them for a whooping.
Well, race fans, we're going to step away for just a moment. We're going to get a couple of your top performers here tonight at the Southern National Motorsports Park here for the Nunya Performance 100. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with your post-race show after these quick breaks.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back here, race fans, to the Southern National Motorsports Park. Tonight here for the Nunya Performance and Fabrication 100. It was the season opener, and what a season opener it was. These racers tonight surely brought their A game here after a very long off season. And let's get down onto the track and talk to your winner here tonight. He is driver of the number 222s, and it is Jeff Town. Jeff, quick car in qualifying. Quick car out here on the speedway. How did you literally walk away from some of these drivers tonight? Some of the best in the business.
I just try to save my tires. They seemed to stick around the whole race, so that was nice. The lap traffic was really nice. They didn't try to fight it too much, so yeah.
Yeah, we come to short tracks like this. This track probably one of the smallest that we will see. I believe Oxford is a very similar, and then when the Bull Ring does make its way onto the schedule later into the season, those tracks all very comparable and into the size. But talk about working through lap traffic, because you took the race lead in the early portion of this race and you just kind of ran away, but lap traffic seemed to be all over the place.
Yeah, it was. This track's tough anyways because it's a very strict line you got to run to be fast, so when you got cars, lap traffic you're dealing with, and then trying to hit your marks to, maintain the lead, it's tough, but it was a good race.
Now, here officially with this win here tonight. You put yourself in some very strong competition name-wise. Like last time we came here to this speedway, I believe it was Hughes who parked himself in victory lane. Now it'll be you. Only 2 times has this series ever come to the Southern National Motorsports Park. What is it like to how does it feel to put yourself next to Jason Hughes' name in the record book?
That's pretty sweet. Actually, I was surprised that Jason wasn't as fast as he normally is. I was expecting to see him up front for sure. But yeah, that's a pretty cool feeling.
Yeah, he had a fast hot rod too here tonight, but Jeff, you had a fast hot rod. Who makes it all possible here, though, for the 222 to come out onto the track here on iRacing and compete?
First I gotta thank Ryman and Mark for putting this on. I think this is pretty awesome. All the guys that joined it, and Force Engineering, GT Products, All-Star Performance. I gotta thank those guys. All the sponsors that came and jumped on board to help us out run this series. That's it.
Well, there you heard it from your winner here tonight out of Michigan, the driver of the 222. Jeff Town leads 73 laps here tonight. He will take the Nunya Performance and Fabrication 100. He will put his name into the record book. Alongside him will be Jason Hughes, the only 2 winners to ever win here at the Southern National Motorsports Park. So congratulations to that whole crew. I believe, Al, you are standing by with the man who was very closely 7 seconds behind.
Yeah, that's very nice of you to say that, Roger. I'm standing here with Andy Rutherford. Andy, what did you need out of your number 35 here tonight to, well, as Roger put it, close up that 7-second gap?
Different driver. I mean, I don't know. Jeff was just on a rail. He didn't make any mistakes. He was smooth. And when you're smooth, you're good on your tires. He was just unbeatable today. There wasn't nothing going to stop him today.
Well, you had a good battle there late with Ricky Leduc and car number 96. There are a lot of crossover moves, and that was very entertaining to watch. And probably not as much entertaining from your seat as you're trying to get that position there. But talk about how difficult it was to get around the Southern National Motorsports Park here tonight. It looked like it was quite difficult at stages of this race.
Yeah, absolutely. They come out with a new tire model a few weeks ago, and ever since we've been struggling with these things. They're a little more realistic. They're gotta be easy on the throttle. They're loose in. They're just black and bite. But no, Ricky ran me awesome. That was actually had a lot of fun racing Ricky, doing the crossovers. You know, I let him go early, trying to save my stuff. I knew Jeff was gone, so I figured my only chance would be a late restart and have a little more tire than him. But with about 25, 30 to go, I figured, well, it's time to go. And started putting the pressure on Ricky, and just got one spot there. But yeah, Ricky ran me good. I ran Ricky good, and there's so many fast guys in this league. It's crazy.
Well, you put a plus next to your name here tonight, moving up 2 spots from your starting spot. So it could have been much worse, I guess. But who makes it all possible for you and to get the season started out with a nice 2nd place finish here at the Southern National Motorsports Park?
I'd like to thank Force Engineering. They've been sticking with me on here and also in real life. All-Star Performance, Devin Robler PC built me a awesome computer for this iRacing. Yeah, thank my mom and dad. Love them. Love my brother. Yeah, it just everyone helps.
Well, there you have it, Roger. The man that finishes runner-up here tonight, it is the driver of the number 35, Andy Rutherford. And I believe you've caught up with our 3rd place finisher here on the podium.
Yeah, 3rd place here tonight. It is a driver that's very familiar with sitting on the podium. Tonight, Ricky, it's only going to be good enough for a 3rd place machine, but this car was pretty quick out there tonight. 3rd place, nothing really to kind of slouch about.
Well, it's good to run up front here with these guys. These guys are awesome. Jeff and Andy, they've always ran me clean and just provided some great racing. Jeff he's gone. He was in a whole other time zone. So good job for him. That was awesome. Yeah, me and Andy were racing clean. It was fun.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of fun out here tonight. Talk about the way these machines handled. What more did you need to look like these cars on this long run? The tires were starting to get used up and they were slipping around.
Yeah, iRacing's definitely been coming out with a lot of great updates. The tire model, the settings where nobody can take tires. So I race this game a lot where you could take tires every caution, and it's a different game now. So it's it's more realistic, and it's definitely tougher for me, and obviously for everybody. But it just makes it so much more fun.
It makes it put on some very good shows that we get to watch here on the iRacing.com platform. But now this race is officially in the books. You're going to come home with a good start to your season, finishing in third. Next week, though, a whole new ball game, brand new track, everything's reset, brand new fenders on it, brand new tires. We head to the Lucas Oil Raceway for the Race1.US 75. How do you feel going to Lucas Oil?
Pretty good. I've had some good runs there. Just just trying to learn how to save my tires a little better. That's kind of all I got to work on.
Well, it worked good enough here tonight for a third place finish. Ricky, who makes it all possible up there on that 96 machine.
Yeah, I got to thank Mark and Ryman for putting this together. We've usually run this every year in the off season. It's always fun. Most of us are local, and so it's cool to to get on here and race with some local guys. I thank everybody who actually joined the series, and to put 30 plus guys trying to make the show. That's it's awesome.
It was a good showing. Oh, go ahead. Mike's yours.
Oh, you're good. No, I got some sponsors too. From a Street Stock Real Life, Corliss Signs, Long Barn Performance, Riderman Oil. Them guys they've always helped me in the real life racing world. So gotta plug them in there.
You always gotta thank the real life sponsors, no matter where you're at, whether you're at the track in real life or you're here on the iRacing platform. Ricky LeDuc does it like no other. He thanks the sponsors. He comes home third here tonight. The driver out on Michigan has himself a good points night. It's not going to be a race winner for him, but a good solid points night all around. And that's your top three finishers here tonight in the Nunya Performance and Fabrication 100 here at the Southern National Motorsports Park. Al, it may not be a top three for this driver, but it was a pretty good night all in all. Biggest mover of the race.
Yeah, the GC Racing Hard Charger of the race going to the driver out of Walkerton, Indiana. It is Jason Hughes. And Jason, well, you got 20 extra laps than anybody else out there on the speedway besides Austin Maynard. But coming home in the 8th spot, up 13 spots, walk us through your race. It was quite exciting from our seat.
Yeah, I feel like I got my money's worth out there for sure tonight. We track position's so important here, man. It's all about just, restarting on the top. It's hard, and we just couldn't make ground up.
Well, you started out winning the LCQ, not a position that any driver wants to be in, but able to pull off the win in a very dominating fashion in the LCQ. Then working through to the field here, up 13 spots. We were watching you battle with Steve Mastro and a few of the drivers in that battle there with Chris or Chuck Darling, trying to work the outside of the speedway. Was there any grip up there towards the end of that race?
No, not really. I mean, there wasn't any grip anywhere on the track. Up top, it was especially bad. Hopefully we can just pull it together, and we'll go to Lucas Oil next week, and we'll be better,
Speaking of Lucas Oil, that's going to be a great show. How is the outlook for yourself there and your race team?
I have never turned a lap there on this new build, so it's going to be a whole new ball game. We're going to put in some practice this week, and hopefully we can get some laps out there and figure out what we'll have for them.
Well, we'll let you pay the bills here since you had to run some extra laps here tonight and probably burn a little bit extra Hoosier Racing tires off that 32 car. Who makes it all possible for you here to become the GC Racing Hard Charger of the race?
Just especially want to thank Mark and all them guys for putting us on, Nunya for sponsoring it, and all our sponsors for each race, man. It's really cool that we get to do this.
Well, there you have it, Roger. That is your hard charger, the GC Racing Hard Charger, the race driver of the 32, Jason Hughes, going from the 21st starting spot to finish in the 8th position. Nothing to sneeze at, but as you heard from him, a little disappointed on the outcome of his night here as we look at the Nunya Performance 100 results.
Yeah, take a look at the results here tonight. You heard from your top three of town, Rutherford and LeDuc. Find out where your favorite driver did finish here tonight and, see where they will fall in the point standings when we head to next week. Race fans, we got to thank you all for tuning in here tonight to watch the Nunya Performance 100 brought to us by, well, the Tri-State Super Series. You know, it's been a long time since they've been to the iRacing.com platform, but they are back again. Tonight here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, you get to see some great racing action, short track racing action from some of the best drivers in the Midwest and all over the country coming together here on iRacing to give us a little more racing excitement. Next week, you can catch them back live in action here when we go to the Lucas Oil Speedway. Still working out the details of where the broadcast is going next week, Al, as we had we'll call it a curse, pretty much, of trying to schedule some events here, but regardless, we will have that covered here. But Al, closing thoughts here tonight from the Southern National Motorsports Park.
I think the drivers did a heck of a job, and 30 drivers coming out to Southern National Motorsports Park trying to make the 22-car event. The LCQ, well, it was started off a little bit with a rough and tumble. What you expect, that we saw a lot of great racing, a lot of side-by-side racing, and overall, one car just dominated the feature event as Jeff Town picked up the win. We expect to see him up front throughout the season. As we look here at the rest of the season, we'll see, hopefully, everybody next week from the Lucas Oil Raceway Park. I'm looking forward to that one. But Roger, I don't think Southern National took and let anybody down other than anybody that wasn't Jeff Town.
Yeah, Jeff Town tonight is your winner for the Nunya Performance and Fabrication 100. Race fans, we hope you enjoyed the show here tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network. We thank you all for stopping by, spending a little bit of time here on Sunday evening with us. So for everybody over at Nunya Performance and everybody over at Race 1 and GCR Racing, we thank you for tuning in. That's Al Smith. I'm Roger Muth, and we will catch you next time at the races.